I'm here with Jeremy Jordan, the senior mortgage banker at Atlantic Bay Mortgage Group here in the Yorktown office. Jeremy, thank you so much for talking with me today. I've worked with you for a couple of years, and I'm glad I get to show people what you do.
Well, I really appreciate you reaching out and providing me this opportunity. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. So, senior mortgage banker. Tell me a little bit about what that is. Who is that?
Well, I guess on the surface, I'm defined as a senior mortgage banker because oftentimes in the industry, it's someone that has designated with at least 10 years of experience in the industry.
Okay.
So I myself have been in business. This June will be 15 years.
Congratulations.
Which, coming out of college, I never would have expected that
Yeah.
I would have stayed in this business for 15 years. But it's been a great opportunity for me, and been having some really good success from within my company. So I got that senior title a couple years ago, and in this industry, to build that credibility, having that senior title, can show a client that you've kind of had that duration of service. So it's been a good fit.
Yeah. Okay. So Atlantic Bay, I think I saw the tagline that you're small enough to care, right?
Right, exactly.
Big enough to get the job done.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been our motto. Our president and CEO is the gentleman by the name of Brian Holland. Brian started the company at a very young age. The unique part about Atlantic Bay, and which I think that not a lot of folks understand about the mortgage business, is that we've had the same name and same CEO for the duration that this company was founded.
Oh wow.
So there's been some other companies that have had to go through some various name changes, and I won't go into those details. Yeah. But I just think that on the surface, it just helps to bring that credibility that Atlantic Bay's continue to try to do right by their clients and their business partners in the industry. And we've been fortunate enough to be the #1 ranked mortgage lender in Hampton Roads for the past couple years, and that's something that we take great pride of here at Atlantic Bay.
Absolutely. So at Atlantic Bay Mortgage Group, and you personally, what is it that you guys offer?
I mean, we really here offer the full vast array of all your residential needs, from anything like a construction to perm loan with a one-time close, to your VHDA programs, which is more designed for first-time home buyers. Mm-hmm. And we are actually the #1 lender in Virginia for Virginia housing. That's something that we really like assisting is our first-time home buyers, that have dreams and aspirations. Yep. And the unique part there is it's not your 20 to 30-year-old, client in all situations. I've helped a 74-year-old buy their first home, and what a proud moment that is, when they accomplish one of their dreams. So, again, and then USDA programs for rural housing, which we have some of those areas here locally, more in the Gloucester, Matthews, Isle of Wight, Suffolk area, West Point, and on out, to all your traditional, conventional VA, FHA. I know myself personally take great pride in also being able to offer a number of the renovation loans.
Yeah, not everybody does.
No, and if they do, or if a company does offer them, they're typically farmed out to one expert in that particular field, because they can be pretty complicated loans. Mm-hmm. And you do have to do a number of them over the course of the year to stay sharp with them. But we have great relationships with the HUD consultants that assist with those. So from your VA renovations to your home style, reno loans to your FHA 2 or 3Ks. I'm proud to say that I offer all those unique programs as well.
So you just thrown out so many different letters and numbers and
acronyms,
203K
right.
and FHA and USDA. Does somebody need to know already exactly what kind of a program or loan type they want? Like, do they need to do that research first?
I don't think so. I mean, if you did, I think you'd run into, just this never-ending cycle of trying to gather information about what program is best for your needs. Yeah. I think one of the things that's made that side of the industry, where more and more people bring that, question up front is HGTV, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody wants to, buy a house at a discounted price and renovate it and make it their own. And I know my wife watches those shows regularly.
Sure.
But I know for me personally, it's about sitting down with the client, determining what their needs are. And in this market especially, I think those renovation loans, become a great resource for clients, because if they can find a home with good bones, and to be able to go in and have financing options to kind of make it their own, those are always very exciting loans for me to see the transformation, from home, to take it from point A to point B. And we've done some very comprehensive renovations where were homes in York County that had Chinese drywall that had to be kind of gutted down to the studs, new electrical, new everything. And we've done the $15,000 to $20,000. Hey, I'm just gonna redo the bathroom. I'm gonna get a new roof. I'm gonna redo the siding. I'm gonna do exterior windows. I'm gonna make my home more energy efficient.
Yeah.
So that's the nice part about those programs. There's some limited options, and then there's some standard options. If there's a structural repair that needs to be done. So that's when, a lot of the time with those renovation clients, we really do need to have a one-on-one sit-down appointment or a Zoom call and just kind of map out, hey, this is kind of how that process looks like, because it is a little bit, unconventional
Right.
to some degree.
Okay.
So.
Okay, but it sounds like by and large, the more traditional buyer that's not going with full renovations, or at least they don't know it yet, maybe they change their mind.
Right.
You can help guide them to what the best loan program is based on their situation and their goals.
For sure.
And then if somebody is interested in a renovation loan, and there are, even in this market, there are those homes that they need a little love.
Right.
Just a little love or a lot of love, and you guys offer that program as well. So you're a good resource for just about any home buyer, I think.
Sure. Yeah. A friend of mine, for example, loved this neighborhood, but the homes were built in the 70s, and it's 2022, so a 50-year-old home, and obviously that home needed some, a little bit of TLC. It was actually one owner that had owned that home for the duration of the time. It was held in an estate, but again, it gave he and his wife the opportunity of going in and making it their own, and they kept a lot of the things aesthetically that gave that home that kind of that character and that charm, but they kind of went inside and made it a little bit more modern to kind of fit their needs for their growing family. So again, those are always kind of super fun loans for me to do.
Yeah.
Again, they take a little bit longer, as opposed to a traditional 30-day close. It's more a 45-day close, but
That's still not bad.
No, and we're still able to do that here at Atlantic Bay and still close on time. But all in all, again, I think just letting clients know in this market that there are other opportunities out there, I think is very important. In a very challenging market with low inventory.
One thing that I keep hearing you say, Jeremy, is you'll briefly mention these times where you remember this couple, you remember this moment, you remember this outcome.
Sure.
I might be wrong, but it sounds like that's part of what motivates you. Like, tell me a little bit about why you chose this industry and why you stayed in it for 15 years.
I think for me, I always try to treat my client as a whoever's name is on that contract. I try to treat that individual and try to build a relationship with them. And obviously the process can be quick, 3 weeks, 30 days to kind of build that relationship. But all in all, I know that for a lot of my clients, they can go anywhere to get their financing. They can go to their bank or credit union or, a national bank or whomever. So it is an opportunity that I don't take for granted. And it's one that I, want my clients, to say they did have a great experience. We certainly strive to make sure that every one of our clients has that unique experience. And my motto, with our team is, we want them to be a client for life. We want to help them buy their first house. And, having been in the business for 15 years now, I'm starting to see that turnover cycle, where, some of my clients early on were buying their first house, or, vice versa. Now they're recommending, their nephew or whomever. And, I have clients saying, hey, my my son's getting ready to graduate from college, and we want you to help him. Or in my community, some of my former athletes that I coach in the community are coming back saying, hey, Coach Jordan, I'm ready to buy my first home now. So for me, it's never about a loan number and a queue somewhere. It's all about trying to build that client relationship and keep that client.
In the industry also, that's, I think, how you're doing it right. Like, I have tremendous respect for anybody that works a lot through referral, because it's proof, absolutely undisputably, that the experience is a good one when people are willing to recommend you to friends and family. So you're clearly doing a good job there. Besides the option to have renovation loans, what's something else that folks might not know about Atlantic Bay or about you?
Well, I think just with loans in general, one of the biggest misconceptions is the fact that, hey, I've got to put 20% down, or I have to have 20% saved. Gosh, I don't know how many times this year or these past couple of years that we've actually, educated folks to say, hey, yes, 20% would eliminate the PMI or private mortgage insurance altogether, but hey, with 10% down, at your great credit score, you could keep that money as liquid reserves, keep it for future purposes. You can use that additional money to pay off, revolving credit card debt. That might be 8, 10, 12, 15%, 22%. Pay off a vehicle and help with monthly cash flow. And in return, that mortgage insurance monthly premium is going to be, is only going to be this much. So trying to educate folks on, that you really don't have to have 20%. Even to buy, if you've owned a home before. And I would say that still to this day, that's one of the most common misconceptions, that, even first-time home buyers will say, my parents told me I had to have 20%.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no, it's not really
That's
accurate.
not true anymore.
Actually, we can get you a grant, so that you could get a 2% grant, or, vice versa. And then only have to put 1% down, and we can get reduced monthly mortgage insurance. But again, there's just so many different, loan programs out there that we really, try to get the client's, credit report pulled first. And we do have the option of doing a soft call pull of the borrower's credit. We do have clients from time to time that are very cognizant of kind of where their score is, and they're concerned that a credit inquiry might, reduce their credit score. So we're very, we talk with the client if that's a concern. We have ways around that. So it helps us establish that baseline, and then from that, then we can kind of mold that particular client into the best financing option that kind of meets all their needs and checks all their boxes.
Okay. So I'd like to switch gears just a little bit and talk about Jeremy the person. So how long you've lived in Yorktown for?
Yeah, I actually grew up in Poquoson and went away to college for 4 years and then came back, and so really pretty much my whole adult life, and really my childhood as well. So my father was a shipyard guy, which is, where so many of my friends and members of our community, work. Obviously, with it being the largest employer in Hampton Roads, you run into a lot of people from that, that work at the yard. And but yeah, I grew up in Poquoson and went to Poquoson High School, and was the student council president, and captain of the basketball team, and played multiple sports, and went away to college and went to Randolph-Macon and came back, and with accounting finance degree. Really didn't know what direction I wanted to go. I helped a buddy of mine open up a sports memorabilia store, which is also kind of a passion of mine. I don't buy quite as much this day and age, now having 2 kids. But all in all, I was about 6 months out of college, and finally, my father came to me and was like, hey, you're getting ready to come off this insurance. This needs to come to an end, and you need to find a place to live, and you need to pick up insurance. So I just kind of stumbled into the mortgage business. A relative of mine had been in it for 38 years, and just said, hey, Jeremy, I think, at your age, if you can get started now, it might be a good fit. If you think about that timeline 15 years ago, 2007, 2008, that 15, 14 year cycle, and it was a rough time in our industry, probably the worst time ever to be getting into the mortgage business. I was, putting on my work shoes every day and excited to come into work. People around me, by the tens of hundreds were getting out of the industry. and it was I looked at it as a way to gain some valuable experience, in a difficult market. So I like to tell folks all the time that I've really almost seen almost every different market cycle that something could be thrown at us, and this market cycle is even, much more unique than what I've seen, in the past. But that experience enabled me, to gain a better understanding of the mortgage business and, the role and responsibility that I have, with my clients, on a daily basis, and how important it is. Because again, for most folks, this is their largest financial decision that they have to make, over their adult life. And anytime you have to pack up boxes and prepare to move your family, and especially the folks that are maybe PCSing from overseas, the last thing you want to do is to arrive and not be prepared to close on your mortgage. So it's a very, very, very important job that I have to maintain and do every day. And it's some high stress. It's not an easy job. But it's a very rewarding job, and being able to sit down with folks at the closing table and take a picture, and I'm not sure many people want me in a picture, but to take a picture with them, or just thank them for the opportunity, and then just stay in touch with them, is one of the reasons why the mortgage business has ended up being a good fit for me.
Good. Is there anything else that you'd like people to know about Atlantic Bay or about you?
I mean, I think this is probably more than I've talked about myself in a long time, but I think ultimately, it's for me, it's so much more. Like, what I do on a daily basis is kind of my job, but my legacy is kind of, I want it to be defined in other areas. I really try to be an active member in our community. In so many different ways. I'm the varsity basketball coach at Grafton High School. I'm president of the Peninsula Mortgage Bankers Association. I am on the Lions Club, in the city of Poquoson. I'm on the Poquoson City School Board as the vice chairman there, and then help out tremendously at our church. I teach a Sunday school class for 4, 5, and 6-year-olds on a weekly basis. It's not
That's
something
where the stress coming from.
Yeah, it's not something that a lot of people know about me, but I have a great time with that. We bring out puppets and do skits, and just kind of let my hair down. I don't have much hair anymore, but I just kind of want to be defined in other ways other than just helping folks close loans. But as a company, again, I think we have a lot to offer here as a company here at Atlantic Bay, and again, we appreciate any opportunity with helping folks get from point A to point B.